just throwing your empty bottle in the garbage.
Don't you know plastics go in the blue container?
Mayor Frank Jackson and the City of Cleveland are committed to keeping your neighborhood clean and green through the use of the city-issued trash and recycling carts. It's safe, convenient, and mandatory. For more information, contact the Cleveland Division of Waste Collection at 216-664-3717.
How did you get to be so smart?
I had a good teacher.
Give attention and you shall be heard. You may be seated.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So happy to see you all here today. This is going to be a fantastic, hi Darian. This is going to be a fantastic competition. Mr. Stray, how are you? Going to be great. Mr. Oberman, it's so great to see all of you. Fantastic. All right, well, we are here for the City of Cleveland versus Tracy Marshall, and we have had our pre-trial discussions, and they were fruitful, and so we will get started right away. So for the prosecution, you can stand and introduce yourself and your team.
Good morning, Judge. My name is Zion Harrison, and I'm with my co-counsel, Miracle Harris, Marissa, Julian Wildenheim, Sydney Cummings, and Mark Jacobson. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. And for the defense.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Elisha Smith, and today I have my two offenders defendants, Mr. Anthony Harris.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And Ms. Dia Young. And then for our witnesses, we have Talia Rogers playing Avery O'Reilly, Shamir McCrae playing Tracy Marshall, and Darrell Cannon playing
Good morning.
Dr. Ori Howard.
Good morning and welcome to you all. All right. So is the prosecution ready? All right. Would you like to present an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
On October 13th, 2016, the defendant, Tracy Marshall, used his skills with computer technology to tamper with a teacher, Avery O'Reilly's computer, using the computer program Log Me On to change his grades. This blatantly breaks Ohio Revision Code 2913.42, which states, knowing the person has no privilege to do so, and with purpose to defraud, or knowing that the person is facilitating a fraud, shall do any of the following. 1. Falsify, destroy, remove, conceal, alter, deface, or mutilate any writing, computer software, data, or record. 2. Utter any writing or record knowing it to have been tampered with as provided in Division A1 of this section. B. Anyone who violates this is guilty of tampering with records. Your Honor, even though this case is based off of circumstantial evidence, this represents a classic childhood puzzle of connect the dots. With the help of my co-counsel, we will be presenting these said dots. We will be calling up 3 witnesses: Logan Moore, an old friend of Tracy, who will be testifying to Tracy's capabilities and the motive of Tracy. Taylor Wilkerson, who will testify to the fact that there is evidence of tampering on Avery O'Reilly's computer. And then we were calling Sam Richards, a person who was fairly close to Tracy, her piano teacher. She will be testifying to the fact that she has a troubling past and is known for doing pranks. and that he has capabilities, amazing capabilities with computers, and that she does have the time to do so because she was not present at his piano lessons. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. For the defense.
May it please the court. We are here today because there has been an injustice. Ms. Tracy Marshall has been wrongfully accused of actions that she is not capable of. An anonymous note being the reason for the plaintiff to accuse her. The crimes she has been accused of follow: unauthorized use of property, unlawful use of telecommunications device, and tampering with records. There is little evidence to support these claims, which is why my team, the defense, knows the prosecution cannot and will not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Tracy is guilty. With this said, the plaintiff has the burden of proof, meaning that it is their obligation to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client Tracy is guilty. There is not enough evidence to support any of these claims. We have brought forth 3 witnesses, including Tracy Marshall herself, who in her directory will show you that she was just another recipient of a bad grade and that this prank is not something that she is capable of. Dr. Ari Howard, who will explain to you how Ms. Marshall doesn't have the skill nor the experience to pull off this, and the teacher the computer belongs to. Avery O'Reilly, who will bring light to the student-teacher relationship based on a mutual respect. Your Honor, we ask you to find our client not guilty, and through the duration of this trial, we will show you why. Thank you.
First witness.
The prosecution calls Logan Moore to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that your testimony will comply with the rules of Cleveland mock trial competition?
I do. Thank you.
Good morning. Would you please state your name for the court?
Logan Moore.
And what high school do you attend?
Cleveland High School.
Do you know the defendant, Tracy Marshall?
Yes, we grew up together within the same group of friends.
Does Tracy go to your school?
Yes, we both attend Cleveland High School.
Thank you. Could you explain Tracy's behavior as a freshman?
From knowing Tracy, her incident, she has been very violent since freshman year.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to bring exhibits 3 and 4.
Okay. Show it to co-counsel. Opposing counsel.
These are, may I approach?
You may.
These are Tracy Marshall's discipline reports from her freshman year and her sophomore year, showing incidents of violence and violent actions. I would like to admit these as evidence.
All right, you may. Any objection? Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you. Now, could you tell us of one violent incident of Tracy Marshall's?
Well, there was an incident freshman year where I believe some other freshmen were bugging her, basically, and she just chucked a computer monitor across the room.
Wow. Now, do you two have any classes together this year?
We do. We have a computer programming class together.
And who is the teacher of this class?
O'Reilly.
And how would you describe Tracy's personality in this class?
Tracy could be very intelligent at times, but she can also come off as very know-it-all and a show-off.
So how is Tracy and O'Reilly's relationship in class?
In class, I've often seen Tracy helping O'Reilly behind the computer, just assisting O'Reilly, but Tracy can become very arrogant behind O'Reilly's back and disrespectful.
And how is Tracy's work habit?
I've noticed Tracy doesn't turn in any work.
Now, can you recall what happened on October 12th?
Yes, on October 12th, the class, we received our midterm exam grades back from O'Reilly.
And what grade did you get on that?
I was satisfied with my passing grade.
Okay. So when you found out about the incident of the teacher's computer, how did you feel about that?
I was worried because I wasn't going to let a criminal make me fail my grade because that's what O'Reilly said they were going to do.
And did you notice Tracy's reaction to the incident?
Yeah, when Tracy received her midterm grades back, she didn't seem too pleased either.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Is it true that you knew Tracy Marshall?
That's true.
Is it true that you guys grew up together?
That's true also.
So is it also true that you were commonly compared to Tracy, saying things like, why can't you be, your parents would say things like, why aren't you more like Tracy? You should look for Tracy for help. Is this true?
Often that has occurred.
So wouldn't it be reasonable for you to want to defame Tracy?
I wouldn't say necessarily defame, but no.
You also stated in your witness statement that it's quite humiliating for that to happen. Is this true?
For what to happen?
For your parents to go and compare you to Tracy?
That can be humiliating. Just any other person would also be humiliated.
Okay. When you stated in your witness statement as well that you, after receiving your final grades, you saw that a lot of other people were upset. Is this true?
As well as Tracy.
So does that mean that you just went on an assumption that it was Tracy who was the one who did it?
That is incorrect. I did not assume that at that moment.
So in your witness statement, you state that you went on a website to that most people in your class use.
The school board, yes, school messaging board.
Okay. You saw someone's name as Java Genius 2018. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You state that you just assumed that that was O'Reilly. No, not O'Reilly. That this was Tracy because you saw that. You thought that that was something that they would come up with. Is this true?
I figured a clever hacker like her would come up with that name. And also, 2018 is the year we graduate.
So does that mean that it could have easily have been anyone else in your class, as that was your year, and anybody else could come up with a clever name like that?
There's a possible chance.
So you just went on assumption and threw together your own research and decided that that was Tracy.
Yes, ma'am, I connected the dots.
No further questions.
Any redirect? No redirect. Thank you very much. Please step down. Next witness.
The prosecution calls Taylor Wilkerson to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that your testimony will comply with the rules of Cleveland mock trial competition?
I do.
Hi.
Hi,
Would you please state your name for the court?
my name is Taylor Wilkerson.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a systems administrator at Cleveland High School.
How long have you been a systems administrator?
Well, I earned my master's degree in software engineering at Miami University, and after that, I moved to Northeast Ohio and worked at many other Cleveland schools in the area before I came to Cleveland High School.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to ask that this witness be recognized as an expert witness.
Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor, an expert in what?
She has a master's degree in software engineering.
Is that what she's being entered an expert in software engineering?
He wants you to be
Yes.
specific about the field in which he's being declared an expert.
In software engineering on computers, which is what this case is about, the hacking of a computer.
All right. You may proceed.
Thank you. Now, what are your duties as system administrator?
Well, as a systems administrator, I usually install the school's infrastructure, like new operating systems and building school firewalls.
And now let's go to the day in question. Could you tell us what happened on the morning of Thursday, October 13th?
That morning, I was called to O'Reilly's classroom because there were suspicions that a student had tampered with his computer, and on the computer, on the desktop, was a Guy Fawkes mask.
Now, could you explain to us what that is?
The Guy Fawkes mask, it belongs to a group, an online group called Anonymous, and they're basically hackers that like to stir things up and expose people in authority.
Your Honor, we'd like to introduce Exhibit 1. Your Honor, this is the screenshot of Avery O'Reilly's computer with this Guy Fawkes mask on it. We'd like to admit this as evidence.
All right.
Thank you.
Any objection? Okay.
Now, Taylor, when you got to Mrs. O'Reilly's room, could you explain to us the state of her computer?
Well, it looked as if there were many different types of insults that were placed on the computer.
And what were the nature of these insults?
Some of them were very sophisticated, such as changing the autocorrect settings. So regular words such as me or I were changed to Neanderthal or loser.
Now continue. What happened next?
Well, after that, I instructed O'Reilly to look at his computer and see if the grade books had been changed, because I knew they had taken a midterm like 2 days prior.
And were the grade books changed?
Yes, they were.
Was there anything else unusual about the computer?
Oh, there was also, I noticed that the program Log Me On had been used in the past 24 hours.
And why was this so interesting?
It was interesting because we use Log Me On as, well, to use Log Me On is for complete control of a computer from another device. And we only use Log Me On for remote assistance for another computer. And I don't recall installing that on O'Reilly's computer.
So just to reiterate, why was this so interesting?
It was interesting.
Just for reiteration.
Oh, because I didn't install this on O'Reilly's computer.
Thank you. Could you explain, is there anything more?
Well, I also noticed that there had been events on Log Me On. On the event log, it had been used in the past 24 hours.
And why was this so interesting?
Can you please rephrase your question?
On the event log, why was it so interesting that it had been used in the past 24 hours?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered. The witness has answered this question twice before.
I was just asking for reiteration.
Okay, she can clarify one more time.
This was interesting because on the event log, it had been cleared, so there was nothing there.
Thank you. And then what happened next?
After that, I looked to see if there was any other things on the computer set on Log Me On, and that was it, really.
Okay, so what did you do with this information?
I submitted what I had found and basically declared that Tracy had used O'Reilly's computer.
And how did you clarify that?
I clarified this because in order to use Log Me On from another device, you have to have that person's personal username and password.
Thank you. No further questions, Sean.
Good morning, Ms. Wilkerson. My name is Anthony Harris, and I'm an attorney for the defense. And today I'm going to be asking you a series of yes or no and true or false questions, and it would be appreciated if you answer them as such. But if you have a hard time answering them in that manner, feel free to ask me to rephrase the question or elaborate, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, Mrs. Wilkerson, is it true that you are the systems administrator for Cleveland High School?
Yes, that's true.
So it's safe to say you are familiar with the computers that are used there?
Yes.
And upon looking at Mrs. O'Reilly's computer, you determined that it had been accessed from a remote source.
Yes, because that's the only way you can use Log Me On.
And the remote source was Log Me On, correct?
Yes, it was.
So in order for you to use Log Me On has to be installed on your computer. Is that also true?
Yes.
And I'm sure that you looked onto Taylor's computer to find Log Me On, correct?
Tracy's computer?
Tracy's, yes.
Yes. Yes, I did.
And was that the only computer you looked at?
No, I looked on O'Reilly's computer as well.
So you looked on the computer that was hacked into, and you looked at one other person's computer, and that was Tracy's, correct?
Yes, yes, I did.
So you didn't check any other computer in the entire school building for the program, is that true?
No, I didn't feel the need to.
You didn't feel the need to find out if there was anybody else in the entire school that could have possibly used the app Log Me On?
No.
And then you made the assumption that Tracy Marshall was the one who accessed O'Reilly's computer without checking any outside source.
Yes, because on Log Me On her computer, the events had been deleted, and on O'Reilly's computer, they had it as well.
So you didn't check anybody else's computer, just Tracy's and O'Reilly's?
Yes, that's correct.
Is it true that there's an entire classroom full of students who had the class with O'Reilly?
Yes.
And are you aware that also some other students in the class got poor grades on the tests?
They did, but Tracy
And
is the
also,
only
are
person.
you very intact with the life of Tracy Marshall?
No, I'm not.
Are you aware that when you made your assumption that he has older and younger family members who use computers?
I mean, that's pretty obvious. I mean, most people use computers, don't they?
Yeah. And did you know that the older and younger members actually don't know how to work the computers in Tracy's family?
No, I was not
So
aware.
when you made your assumption, were you aware that Tracy was using the app Log Me On to help his fellow family members?
I was not aware of that.
So when you accused a junior in high school of hacking and tampering with a computer, you didn't look into any other computer, and you also didn't look into the background life of Tracy Marshall?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect? Yes, please. Hi. Tracy, what are your duties as system administrator?
As systems administrator, I build the school's infrastructure, like instructing school firewalls and operating systems.
So those are your only duties.
Yes, and I also deal with that's basically the outline of my job.
Thank you, Tracy. And could you tell us the reason why you went to Avery O'Reilly's room?
I went to his room because there were suspicions that a student had tampered with his computer.
And did something warrant these suspicions?
Yes, I mean, they had taken a midterm 2 days before that, and a lot of students were unhappy with their grades from that midterm.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. So it's true that you noticed that a lot of students were not happy with their grade, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you check the computers of every one of those students who had a poor grade on the test that O'Reilly gave?
Well, I didn't do that because Tracy is the only one
So
that
the
has
answer to
that.
the question was no. You did not check all the computers of all of the people who received poor grades on the test.
No.
The only computer that you checked was Tracy Marshall.
Yes.
Nothing
And
further.
O'Reilly's.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. You may step down. Next witness.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call Sam Richard.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that your testimony will comply with the rules of Cleveland mock trial competition?
Yes, I do.
Good morning.
Good morning.
May you please state your name for the court?
Sam Richards.
Can you tell me a little about your credentials?
I have earned my bachelor's degrees in music education, and I also have a minor in psychology from Ohio University.
Okay, thank you. What is your current occupation?
I have been teaching music education at Cleveland High School for the last decade and a half, where I've helped the students kind of refine their skills in music during and after school.
Did you happen to help them with musical therapy to relieve their stress?
Yes, I have also been doing that for the last 5 years as the guidance counselor.
So you did have, do you have any other previous jobs at Cleveland High School as well?
Yes, I've been the guidance counselor for 5 years.
Okay, so do you know the defendant, Tracy Marshall?
Yes, she's one of the students that have been, that go to my class.
Why was she sent to you?
When the student has been in trouble several times and she has been caught throwing a computer monitor at another student.
Okay, thank you. And in your time together, did you happen to get close to Tracy Marshall?
Yeah, she has been taking my lessons for the past couple of days, and you can tell that Tracy is very stressed, but after taking the classes, her stress levels have went down.
So did you notice anything in particular about her?
She has that mentality that people are out to get her, so she's kind of like, I have to get them before they get me.
Okay, so let's go to around the time of the incident. In the weeks prior to the incident, was Tracy in your class? And if she was, can you elaborate on what did you all do inside the class?
Weeks prior to the incident, Tracy was in my class, and she has admitted to her doing prankster activities and disruptive behaviors during that time as well.
So, what did you guys talk about during those weeks prior?
During those weeks prior to the incident, we had several conversations about how she doesn't like O'Reilly's class and how she's always complaining about him and several things like that.
And was Tracy present to your piano class on the day of the incident?
Actually, during the week of the incident, I don't recall seeing her at all.
So, in past weeks, when she has missed your class, did she confess to anything at all?
Yes, she has admitted to several disruptive behaviors and prankster activities.
And does no further questions, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. So your first encounter with Tracy Marshall was because she was assigned to you because she had allegedly tossed a computer at another student, correct?
That is correct.
And in your statement, you said that once you learned that kids were teasing her, you believed that's what caused her to lash out all the stress from her being teased, correct?
Correct.
In your statement, didn't you say that it was hard to imagine her hurting a fly?
After seeing her play the piano, I can see her stress levels go down, but she's still known as disruptive behavior and a prankster.
Okay, thank you. You said in your statement that you were that week you were lenient with her practices because she had been managing her behavior?
Yes.
Okay. At the end of the session, you said, at the end of your last session with Tracy, you said that that Tracy admitted that O'Reilly did seem like a good person and agreed to cut her more slack by helping her out in class more, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Isn't it true that many students didn't like O'Reilly's? Yeah, that's it. Isn't it true that many students didn't like teacher O'Reilly?
I wouldn't say that was true, and if they did, Tracy's situation would have been much worse.
Objection, Your Honor. This witness cannot possibly know the attitudes of other students toward Avery O'Reilly, seeing as he's not their teacher. Good objection. Sustained. Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, lastly, in your statement, in your statement you said you weren't sure if Tracy was responsible for compromising O'Reilly's computer, and that although Tracy acted out, this did seem severe.
Well, I have no physical evidence that she has done this, but she is known for being very good with computers, and she has very disruptive behavior, so it's pretty much obvious that it could have been her.
But in your statement, you said that this action seemed a little severe for her to commit, correct?
Yes, I did.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. So, Tracy, did Tracy say, how was Tracy's relationship with Mr. O'Reilly?
Well, I would describe their relationship not very healthy. Every time we discuss Mr. O'Reilly, she always has bad things to say and how she really doesn't like being in the class.
So, and during that, was she present to your class during that entire week of the incident?
No, I did not see her the entire week.
And did she confess previously when she missed her class that she was doing other activities that are disruptive and prankster-like as her past behavior?
Yes, several times.
Can you rephrase?
Yes, Your Honor. So, in the past, when she has missed her class, what did she confess to?
She has confessed to several disruptive behaviors and several prankster activities.
And just for reiteration, she was not in your class. She was not present in your class the entire week.
The entire week.
Okay. No further questions.
Can you rephrase?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much. Does the prosecution have any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Prosecution rests. For the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to call Tracy Marshall to the stand.
All right.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that your testimony will comply with the rules of Cleveland mock trial competition?
I do.
Good morning. Could you please state your name for the court?
Tracy Marshall.
And Tracy, what do you do on a daily basis?
I go to school. I go to Cleveland High School. I'm a junior there.
And what do you do for fun?
I go online. I'm online a lot. Programming, computer building, online gaming, stuff like that.
Tracy, do you have many friends?
Yeah, plenty of friends. Online, but like at school-wise, not really.
So you don't have a lot of friends at school. How do you feel like you're being treated in your school?
I'm actually being bullied at school. I've been talked about, my clothes. I'm a computer geek because I take my laptop everywhere. They used to call me computer geek, a nerd. They talk about my clothes, my shoes, stuff like that. But then they cut deep sometimes when they talk about my parents and their divorce they went through.
And how does these students talking about your parents' divorce affect you?
It's like a punch in the stomach, really. It really is a punch in the stomach. So it hurts, really.
Is there any incident about when these children talked about your parents?
Yeah, one time, freshman year, somebody brought up my parents and their divorce. And I thought that was really uncalled for. Like in the past, they talk about my shoes, my clothes, I'm a geek and stuff like that. That stuff I can handle, but it's sort of like a build-up of bullying that's just like a chain reaction. So freshman year, I looked around. I saw a stack of papers on the desk. And what I did was I shuffled them so it could be known to teachers that I was being bullied. And nobody was really noticing that I was being bullied, so I had to let them know, Mm-hmm. So I shuffled stack of papers. Behind the stack of papers, there was a computer monitor, a very old computer monitor that we didn't even use. I didn't even know it was there, to be honest. So it was behind the papers, and it was knocked down with it.
The prosecution seems to believe that you threw a computer monitor. For clarity, did you throw a computer monitor?
Objection, Your Honor. The last question, she was invention of facts. I mean, she didn't state the reason for throwing the papers around. I made a show of just throwing the papers around. She didn't state why. She didn't state all of that in her written statement.
Okay. Response?
Your Honor, she's her own person, and today she's clarifying the reason for her statement and her witness statement.
That's invention of facts. That's not a written statement. You're making up a fact that is not true.
Sustain.
Now,
As to the motivation, yes.
Now, Tracy, how are you doing in your schoolwork, in particular your computer programming class?
Not good grade-wise, no. I'm not doing really good.
But how is your behavior in the class?
I'm actually a helper, more like an assistant to Mrs. O'Reilly. I'm more of an assistant to her because, she's not really a programmer, so I help out when she needs it.
So you should be doing great in the class.
No. Well, it's like she gives busy work, but I'm basically like her assistant, so I don't really do anything in that class.
So how do you do on exams?
I have to pass my exams, of course. So I'm pretty sure I do good on most exams.
So on your most recent exam, how well did you fare?
I got a D+ on my exam.
And are you the only person who got a poor grade in the class?
No, actually, after I received that grade, I went home to the school admissions board to see what was the other students' response to it.
And what were the other students' response on that board?
Some of them were pretty upset that they got a bad grade. Some of them were pretty upset, especially this one guy, this genius, 18, some guy, was really upset, saying they were going to hack it and how easy it would be to change the grades. I was just like, whoa. What was your response to that? I logged off because that was just too much. I didn't want to even see that.
So after that day, what happened after this?
I go to my class and I see Taylor Wilkerson, in the classroom, which was odd. She's but I saw her and I saw her put my stuff down in my class and she asked for my computer, which I thought was pretty weird. Like, why would you need to see my computer out of all the computers here? She was like, just to check stuff or whatever. And then next thing you know, I'm being called to the office for some incident with the hacking or something.
So they believe you did the hacking?
Yeah.
But did you hack Avery Rudd's computer?
No, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Hearsay, because we're here to say if she hacked the computer or not. Of course, the witness is not going to openly admit in a trial that she did indeed hack the computer.
You may respond.
Your Honor, is it safe for the counsel to ask the witness if she indeed hacked the computer or not?
Yes, you can do that.
Again, can I ask you the question once more? Did you hack Avery O'Reilly's computer?
And that is as well the leading question he is referring to answer.
I see what you're saying, but you can. It's okay to ask somebody if they actually committed the offense they're charged with. So.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, I ask, Tracy Marshall, did you hack Avery O'Reilly's computer?
No, sir, I didn't.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, I'm sorry, Rob.
Hello.
Hello. In your witness statements, you did say that O'Reilly's class was making you feel very close to your pressure point, correct?
Yes.
And you did indeed call O'Reilly a joke, correct?
I did.
And you did feel that you were better qualified to teach the class than Mr. O'Reilly, correct?
Miss O'Reilly was a gym teacher before this, so.
So that's a yes, correct? Yes. Okay. And you did help her log on to her computer at the beginning of the semester, correct?
Yes.
So,
she needed help. It was weird.
So therefore, you did have his username and password, correct?
For the semester.
Okay.
The last semester, at least.
Okay, it's not last semester, it's the beginning of the semester, the current semester. Thank you. And you were shocked when you got a D+ on the test, correct?
Very.
And you said that this made you furious, correct?
I did.
And you skipped piano lessons that day, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you felt like you did not deserve a D+, correct?
I didn't.
And you do indeed have Log Me On your computer, correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Do you have so you have logged me on your computer? Why?
Well, I just installed it like a week before this incident to help my auntie with logging onto her computer because she's not very tech savvy.
You said what about your aunt?
She's not tech savvy, so she needed help logging into her computer.
So that's why you use Log Me On. And speaking with the opposing counsel, you said that you were close to your pressure point and that you received a bad grade on your test. From your point of view, were you the only one who received a bad grade on your test?
No, I wasn't.
Is Log Me On something that you only used for you? Are you the only person that can use Log Me On?
No, it's a public domain.
So do you feel like anybody can have Log Me On?
Sure.
Nothing further. Yes,
But you do have Log Me On your computer, correct?
I do.
And you did not go to piano lessons that day of that.
Your Honor, I'll just go.
Okay, I'll change the question. And you did feel that there was no way that you deserved a D on this.
Sure.
Objection, Your Honor, that's also out of scope.
You talked about his grade, so yeah. So could you answer the question, please?
Rephrase it, restate it.
You felt that there was no way that you deserved a D plus, correct?
Yes.
No further questions.
Thank you very much. Next witness.
Your Honor, I would like to call my witness, Dr. Howard, to stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that your testimony will comply with the rules of Cleveland mock trial competition?
I do.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you please state your name and occupation for the court?
My name is Ari Howard, Dr. Ari Howard, and I serve on the IEE, and I've been there for the last 14 years.
What's the IE?
It's the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. We work for the advancement of technology.
Can you state some of your credentials for me?
Well, I received my bachelor's and master's degree from Kent State University, and I have my PhD in computing and informational science from Case Western Reserve University.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter this witness in as an expert witness.
Any objection?
No.
It would be something.
So have you used the program Log Me On before?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell me a bit about it?
Well, Log Me On is pretty much a way to have a remote access to access another computer. So I've used it to access my work computer from home before, so I get some work done.
You've looked over Tracy Marshall's computer, right?
Correct.
Can you tell me?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Okay, don't ask leading questions.
Okay, sorry.
Grace.
Can you tell me about what you do with your job and what you do?
Well, with the IEEE?
Yes.
Well,
just in general.
pretty much we design security software and just work for the advancement of technology. So we do a lot of different things, really, pretty much.
So have you ever had a case where you had to, have you worked with computers in the past?
Yes.
Can you tell me about your recent job?
Can you clarify what do you mean?
The recent time you looked over a computer.
The most recent time I looked for computers when I looked at the Defendant Tracy's computer.
Can you tell me about what you saw?
Well, when I looked on her computer, through her login sheets, and I noticed that she also have used the same login name since, I believe, the past year. and that she has two either incomplete shutdowns or wrongfully log in wrong, like failed login attempts.
Okay. Your Honor, I would like to enter Exhibit 5 and Exhibit 6 into evidence.
Okay.
Yep. Here we have the logging one from the first one, which is Exhibit 5, is a screenshot from Avery O'Reilly's computer, and the second one is from Tracy Marshall's. May I approach the
You may.
So, looking at this, can you tell me what you see?
Well, I see on Tracy Marshall's computer that with the two blank spots, which is the incomplete shutdown or failed login attempt, when you're looking for a failed login attempt or incomplete shutdown, you have dash marks all the way across and not just in the middle section.
And can you look at Avery O'Reilly's for me?
There, in Avery O'Reilly's log, she has just dash marks in where the IP address is, which means that a skilled hacker erased the IP address.
So, what else do you notice about it?
I noticed that not too long before the incident, web admin was the only person to log in on the computer.
So what could that have meant?
It's possible that web admin could have done it, could have maybe mistakenly erased the grades and tried to cover it up.
And who could have web admin been?
Taylor, I believe, because that's part of his job.
In your witness statement, there's nothing about you speculating that Taylor Wilkerson actually accidentally deleted, and that's also speculation.
May I rebuttal?
You may.
He's an expert, and I'm just asking for his expert opinion on the IP address. I never said that there was anything in his witness statement. He didn't state that there was anything in his witness statement.
Yes, but therefore it is speculation of facts. How can he give an expert opinion on someone he doesn't even know?
He can give an expert opinion as he is an expert himself.
However, he accused Taylor Wilkerson of doing this, and he wasn't sure, and there are no facts to present it that could say that.
He accused Taylor Wilkerson of being logged on previously on LogMeOn on Avery O'Reilly's computer, because if you look at the IP logs, you see that.
Yes, however, he's speculating that Taylor Wilkerson could have deleted the IP log.
He said that somebody could have done that if they had logged in before, not
However,
that it
he
was specifically
specifically
Tracy Wilkerson.
However, he specifically stated Taylor Wilkerson.
He stated that Taylor Wilkerson could have been the one who logged on. Didn't say that that would have been it.
Okay, I want to sustain the objection because there are some difficulties, but you can rephrase if you can.
So, when looking at the IP login, who could have been the web admin?
Well, connecting the dots, as they said here, which I'm trying to do now, is it could have possibly been Taylor, since it indeed is his job.
So, looking back at the IP login for Tracy Marshall, they have been doing this for a bit.
For a while.
Okay, so would you have thought that, so after viewing the computer and things of that sort, what can you tell me about hacking and things of that sort?
Erasing IP addresses is no easy task, and I understand that she is above an average high school hacker, but is still too sophisticated for her talents.
Yeah, so what do you think about, can you tell me a bit about hacking in the, can you tell me a bit about hacking in high schools? Is it common? It's not common.
Hacking in high schools is common, but to this level it's not.
So do you believe that Tracy could have been the one who did it?
In my opinion, I believe that it is possible, but because of her skills not being as high, I don't believe she have done it.
No further questions?
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
So you have earned your bachelor's and master's degree in software engineering, correct?
Correct.
And in your statement, you give your expert opinion about people often using easy-to-guess passwords, right?
Yes.
Well, Mrs. O'Reilly's password was her dog's name and her address. This is a relatively easy password, correct?
No.
Objection, Your Honor. That's an opinion. Well, he is an expert witness.
What? As I state in my witness statement.
Hold on 1 second. Did you want to respond?
Yes. You were asking for an opinion from my
your
witness.
Yes.
And yes, I did state that he was an expert, but how is he ever supposed to know about Avery O'Reilly's password?
Well, he stated that in his statement that personal information are easy to guess password. I'm believing that I know that her dog's name and address is a personal information to her.
But what would that have to do? What does that have to do with the case? I don't understand. This is
Well,
an
because
expert witness in computer technology. It's not a student like any of the other.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly the reason why I'm asking him, because he's an expert witness. In his expert opinion, this is a relatively easy password, correct? Which means that if this password was easy, Tracy Marshall could have guessed this password.
How old is Tracy? Why would you?
Well, she actually has her using it. Thank you.
It's a good objection. I'm going to overrule it, but it was a good objection.
I stated in my witness statement that easy passwords such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or QWERTY are passwords. But for someone to have their pet's name and their address together as a password would not be an easy thing to guess.
Okay, well, from now on, could you please answer with yes or no questions?
I can try to answer it truthfully. If I can, I'm sorry.
Okay, I forgive you. In addition, you stated that Tracy would need O'Reilly's login information and have the program downloaded on his or her device, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. You also examined Tracy's IP log, correct?
Yes.
And you found no evidence of it on the use of the day in question, correct?
No.
Okay, Your Honor, I would like to introduce Exhibit 6, which is Tracy Marshall's IP log. And as you can see in the exhibit, there is a space between October 14th and October 8th, which means that this blank could have happened anywhere between those two dates.
Okay, and show it to opposing counsel.
Well, I would just like to show it to me, please. So you're going to do so there are many dates between October 14th and October 8th.
I would like to ask this be admitted as evidence. All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Based on your expert opinion, is it possible... Okay, never mind. So you also say that Tracy isn't skilled enough to do this, correct?
Correct.
Well, do you know her personally?
No.
Thank you. So I asked you before that she would need O'Reilly's login and password to pull this off, correct?
As I previously stated, yes.
Okay, well, she had both of these things, so is it possible that Tracy Marshall could have pulled this off?
It's possible that he could have changed it already.
In his expert opinion. It's an expert opinion.
I understand that, but how is he supposed to know that she had both things?
I'm just asking a question here, counsel. He is the expert. I just want his expert opinion.
It is also possible that he changed his password before.
Okay, could you walk him through how he knows that and then...
Okay. You've earned your bachelor's and master's degree in software engineering, correct?
Again, yes.
You say that to pull this off, Tracy Marshall would need Avery O'Reilly's login and password, correct?
Again, yes.
She had both of these things.
Who's to say he didn't change them?
In your expert opinion, Is it possible that Tracy Marshall could have pulled this off because she had the login and username of Avery O'Reilly?
Is it possible to say that he changed his password?
However, I've read his statement and I know that he hasn't.
Could he have just left that out of his statement?
This is this witness statement. We're not talking about somebody else's witness statement.
You can bring it. It's all fair game.
So, once again, in your expert opinion, is it possible that Tracy Marshall could have pulled this off based on the fact that you said she needed login and passwords of Avery O'Reilly, both of which she had? Yes or no answer, please.
It's possible that he
Yes
could have
or no
changed
answer?
it. It's possible that he could have changed it.
No
It is
further
also
questions, Your
possible
Honor.
that she could have done it. Anything is possible.
All right. And you redirect?
Hi,
Is it true that you are an expert?
I am.
Is it true that you don't know?
Objection, Your Honor, reading.
Oh, pardon me.
That's already been established, so.
Do you know Tracy personally?
Personally, no.
Didn't. Okay. Are you a witness? I mean, not a witness. Are you an expert?
Yes, I am. I am an expert at this information.
Objection, Your Honor,
technology.
asked and answered. He's already stated that he's an expert. Once
You asked me the same question.
I was
5
just.
times.
Can I go to rebuttal? I was just trying to clarify that he is a witness because he's trying to lower my witness down. So, anyway, so let's look at the IP login again. As you know, right here.
Yes.
Are you okay with
Yes,
that?
you're fine.
So can you tell me about the in between those two and what that means in your expert opinion?
The 2 blank lines?
Yes.
Well, I stated that though that means that it was either an incomplete shutdown or failed login attempt. If the IP address had been erased as it had on the day from Avery O'Reilly's computer, it only would have been dashes there from the IP address line. And if he had erased it from his log, it would have just erased the IP address, not the name and the date and the time as well. The whole line would not have disappeared.
No further questions, John?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would like to introduce Exhibit 6 again. Is that possible? May I approach the witness? So, sir, could you tell me the first date?
I'm
on
going to
this-
read my unmarked copy.
Okay. Could you tell us the first date on this login timestamp?
That's the last date. The first date would be down
Okay, the
here.
last date.
It's October 14th, 2016.
Okay, could you tell us the date that's before the dashes?
Before the dashes?
Yes, before
October, what is that? October 8th.
Yes. There are plenty of days between October 8th and October 14th. This does not necessarily, October 14th, this does not necessarily warrant the fact that these blips happened on October 12th.
How do you know it happened on October 12th if there's no date there?
Excuse me, sir, you are the one who's saying that this might have happened on October 12th. I'm just trying to clarify that there are many dates between October 8th and October 14th, which means that any one of those dates, these could have happened between any one of those dates. October 9th, October 10th, October 11th, October 12th, October 13th. There are 5 days between those 2 dates.
What I actually said was that when there are dashes all the way across the line, that means that there were either incomplete shutdown or a failed login attempt. If the IP address or anything had been erased, it would have still had the login name, as you see in Avery O'Reilly's, and the date, when there's none of that there.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Any other witnesses?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that your testimony will comply with the rules of Cleveland Montreal Constitution?
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good. May you please state your name and occupation for the court?
My name is Avery O'Reilly, and I'm a teacher at Cleveland High School.
Can you explain to the court your relationship with electronics?
I'm new to it. I was a PE teacher for 27 years prior.
Okay. Can you tell the court how your class is structured?
I value effort over raw talent.
Understandable. Can you summarize October 13th for us?
I came into work at my usual time, and when I entered my room, I noticed the door was unlocked, which was strange, being that I always lock my door. And then I logged into my computer, and I noticed that my wallpaper had been changed, and my files had been switched around. Some of the names weren't the same.
What are some past pranks that students may have committed on you?
There were a lot of things, petty little things.
What other unusual things did you observe once you logged into your computer?
When I tried to access the internet, it rerouted me to a site called Shoulda Stuck with Dumb Jocks.
And continue.
And it had rants about me and how I should have stayed a PE teacher.
After seeing this, what was your next move?
I talked to Taylor Wilkerson, and she told me that my computer was hacked.
What discoveries did you make at this point?
I noticed that my grade book had been changed, and some of the test scores from the midterm had been changed as well.
Okay. What was your response to that to your class?
Well, I first changed my password as instructed, and then I talked to my class and I told them that until the person who was guilty had been found, everyone will receive a failing grade.
Did anyone step up to tell you who did this?
I received an anonymous note.
What is your honest opinion on Tracy?
Tracy is a bright young lady. She has a bright future ahead of her, and I don't think she's capable of this.
What is your opinion on the incident that happened her freshman year?
She was being bullied, and as any bullied person, eventually that builds up on you and you pop.
Understandable. Can you justify her bad grade in your class for the midterm?
I knew she knew the material, but she didn't show effort, which made her have a D+.
What is your final thoughts on this case?
I think it's ridiculous that we're here today. She's not capable of doing this. I just can't believe it.
Thank you. No further questions at this point.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and yourself?
Well, so according to your statement, you were a teacher at Cleveland High for 27 years as a PE teacher, am I correct?
Yes.
So this is your first consecutive school year as a technology teacher?
Yes.
New to technology, would this also conclude inexperience?
I'm still learning, yes.
Does that mean that you're qualified to teach this course?
Of course, because I'm teaching it.
So, is it true that Tracy was a brighter student in your class?
Yes.
She would help you frequently?
Yes.
So I can conclude that she had your monitor password and your credentials?
That may be possible.
Also, due to Tracy's statement, it shows that she has very hard feelings against you repetitively. Would this give her motive to hack your computer?
I wouldn't know that.
So, on October 12th, you threatened to give everybody an F.
Yes.
Would this give motive to hack the computer, to change the grades?
That was after my computer had already been hacked.
Do you trust Tracy Marshall?
Yes, I do.
Did you know that Tracy had the Log Me On program that was confirmed to be the instrument that hacked your computer?
I'm not aware of that.
No further question.
Can you read the rest?
Yeah, sure. So the plaintiff stated that Tracy had said it repetitively she didn't like you. Wasn't it other students in your class that had a bad opinion of you?
There were many students that didn't like me.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any further recross?
Invention of facts, objection. There's no objection.
There was an objection?
Yes, she invented the fact.
What fact did she invent?
I said,
Many students didn't like her. That was never brought up in a statement. It was just relevant to Tracy Marshall, which I did mention in my cross-examination.
Okay, so there's nothing in the materials that suggested that other students did not like her?
There is. Hold on 1 second. I have to find it for you.
Okay.
So in her statement, it says...
You can just show her and ask her to
Okay.
read it.
Can you read this about the website that you was logged on to? Which was just
should have stuck with dumbjocks.com, which was a full page with rants and insults about me and half-wits, saying I should go back to teaching gym and understand that the internet has since been taken down.
Also, I can conclude that was after the hacking, and it shows that in the statement also, which should have stuck with dumb jocks.
Your Honor, the website was made before the hacking, and it was taken down after the hacking.
I think there's enough information in the materials that you can extrapolate that a lot of people did not like the teacher.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for the objection. Overruled.
There is no recross.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses? All right. Do you all need a few minutes to confer before you give your close? Yes. Okay. Okay. Prosecution?
Yes, Your Honor. So, in the beginning, I mentioned my counsel would call up 3 witnesses to testify to the defendant's guilt. And as stated, the witnesses have testified and established the following dots. Number 1, Tracy was a no-show to her piano lessons and had plenty of time to commit these said crimes. And in past behaviors, when she has mispracticed, she has committed bad behaviors. 2, the defendant does have Log Me On his computer as well as Avery O'Reilly. 3, motive. Throughout the entire case, Tracy vocalizes how he does not like Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. or Mrs. O'Reilly. Therefore, she has plenty motive to commit these said crimes. And 4, ability. Tracy's abilities were known around the school. Many people went to help for her computer abilities. The teacher even went to her for her own computer abilities. So her computer abilities were widely known, so she clearly has the capability of committing these said crimes. We will ask you to reject the following defense's theories in this case. First, Dr. Howard testified to the fact that Tracy does not have the ability. How does she know that Tracy does not have the ability? She does not know her personally or any of the such. Also, Tracy had multiple violent outbursts and is known for having problems. She has been sent to computer lessons because she had problems in the past with exhibits 3 and 4, which we have shown. And the defense also stated that she tried to get the teachers to find out that she was bullying her by shuffling papers, which the statement just said that she wanted attention, not to find out bullying. And each of our witnesses is credible and have no reason to lie. The defense lacks credibility. After all, the person being tampered with, Avery O'Reilly, is on the side of Tracy Marshall. Why could that be? Maybe because he does not want to swallow his pride and accept the fact that a student caught him off guard. As I said, this case is based off circumstantial evidence, and all of the circumstances point to that Tracy Marshall is indeed guilty. As you connect the dots, the picture gets clearer and clearer to that Tracy indeed commit these said crimes. Now, I believe that me and my co-counsel have proved beyond reasonable doubt that all of these dots show Tracy is guilty. Now, my co-counsel has presented you these said dots. All you have to do is connect them. No.
Your Honor, may it please the court. Today we're here on the grounds of unauthorized use of property, tampering with records, and unlawful use of a telecommunication device. Today the prosecution had the burden of proof. Today the prosecution's burden was to prove beyond a reasonable doubt and a preponderance of the evidence. The prosecution's job was not to connect dots. The prosecution's job was to make sure and to prove that without a reasonable doubt, not a connection of the dots, not circumstantial evidence, but to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Tracy Marshall did these things. Sadly, today, the prosecution did not meet their burden. They didn't do it by bringing forth 3 witnesses. The first witness they brought forth was a fellow student, Logan, who was one of the people throughout the years who grew up with Tracy, teasing her, bullying her, treating Tracy like an outcast. Next, they called forth Taylor, the system admin who checked 2 sources, the computer of Tracy Marshall and the computer that was hacked. They didn't go any further. They didn't look into any other evidence. They jumped the gun and made an assumption that Tracy Marshall did this. Next, they brought forth Sam Richards, who had no physical proof whatsoever. Once again, just circumstantial evidence. But today, the defense did prove, and did help prove, that beyond a reasonable doubt, Tracy Marshall did not do this. We brought forth Tracy Marshall, a student who was being bullied, a student who is talented, a student who is good at what she does. We brought forth Ari Howard, an expert who ran through the case with a fine-tooth comb and said that Tracy was not capable of doing this. An expert said that Tracy couldn't do it. An expert. And then finally we brought forth Mrs. O'Reilly, the teacher of the class, the actual computer that was hacked. And she doesn't believe that Tracy did it. All of the signs point to the fact that Tracy didn't do this. She's a good kid who was bullied. She did not commit these accusations. So let's not connect the dots here today. Let's look into the case and see, did the prosecution truly prove beyond a reasonable doubt? Or did they have us here today searching and connecting dots? Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. So the defense stated that we're not here to connect dots and that we have no proof. The dots, if I'm being mistaken, but the dots are the proof. And we have clearly met the burden of proof with these circumstances. She had time motive, and the ability. What more do you need? And they said, oh, no one directly knows who did this. I mean, like, do you have to know that it's raining outside to know that it's raining? If you see somebody with wet boots and an umbrella, you're going to assume that it's raining outside. And it can be clearly inferred that it is indeed raining outside. And they tried to say that Sam had no proof, but Sam did know Tracy's personality. He was the closest thing to a friend that Tracy ever had. Multiple students were bullying him, and he went to Sam to relieve that stress, to escape by playing the piano. And if anyone knew him, it would be Sam. And they mentioned that Dr. Howard is an expert. He might be an expert on computers, but is he an expert with Tracy? He does not know Tracy's abilities. He does not even know Tracy at all. Besides, if this case would have never happened, he would not know anything at all about Tracy. So how can he may be an expert on computers, but is he an expert about Tracy? He does not know his abilities. He's purely going off of assumption that he does not have the abilities because he is a high schooler. That is all.
Fantastic. Very, very good trial. Very good trial. You all should be very proud of yourselves. So it is 10 to 11, so we're going to go back and deliberate and come back out and give you your comments and present best lawyer and best witness. Okay, you can.
All right.
All rise. The honorable court is now back in order. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All right. Again, I can't stress enough how wonderful, prepared, and entertaining this was. And all of those elements are necessary for a really good performance. And just the ensemble effort was just amazing. I mean, I really, really enjoyed this. So I'm going to let Ms. Ashley say who the outstanding witness was and make any comments if you want, and then we'll have Magistrate Walcott, and then I'll bring up the rear.
For outstanding witness, we chose Jarrell Cannon from Whitney.
Okay, sorry we don't have a trophy for you right now, but you can, and again, it was so hard because the witnesses, you all were just so good. It was so difficult. But, okay, do you want to say anything else?
Everybody did a really great job today. It was very entertaining, very energetic. It was a very tough decision to make. So congratulations to all of you. You all did really well.
Okay, Magistrate Walcott.
All right. For the best attorney, we chose Miracle Harris. Congratulations.
So you're too short. We'll just do the terrorist fist bump here. All right, and that was hard too because you guys were
very,
so
very
good.
hard.
Oh my goodness, love the back and forth and the objections. I mean, you guys brought it. I love that. I love that, and just the drama is just great. I mean, it's just really, really good. So go ahead. Did you get some more comments?
You know, out of all the years that I have been doing this, I felt that this competition today, what we witnessed today, was the best, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it showed the passion of and the commitment of the project that you were involved with. And you know, this was circumstantial evidence, but I thought both sides, they presented very, very well. And it was a very hard choice. So I want to wish you all the best in your future, and hopefully we are looking at future lawyers or future members of the profession, because you certainly showed today that you can meet those standards. Absolutely. You should give yourself a hand.
Yes. So, I forgot, how many are future lawyers in here? I forget. You said you didn't want to be, because I asked you last year. You said you weren't going to be a lawyer? You were going to be what? An actor, right? But you are so really good. And, but when it comes down to it, you got to be really precise about the legalese and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of like what separates everybody. Like one of the mistakes you made, you were fantastic again. Fantastic lawyer.
Yes.
I mean, really. But make sure that that you're really sure about the burdens of proof. And I think you said preponderance of evidence, and that, because it's just reasonable doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the only standard in criminal cases. So make sure you don't bring other standards into it. I loved your theme, connect the dots. That is really good. And I love how you tried to say, connect the dots. I mean, but you are supposed to connect the dots. But you probably should have said but not when the dots are all over, not when, it's crazy or something like that. But it's good to, because their theme was just so good, it's good to be able to say, let's not connect the dots if the dots don't make sense or something like that, instead of saying, connect the dots is not good. Because that is what prosecutions do. They connect dots. So, but that was really, I liked the theme. And let me see. Oh, your rebuttal. Excellent. Excellent. If it's raining outside, I don't have to see the rain myself. I can just infer that it's raining by the umbrellas and people coming. That was really good. That's good thinking on your feet. So I wanted to commend you for that. That was right on time, and it was relevant, and it fit. That was just a perfect comeback. And just some of the things, this is the first problem that I didn't write. A student wrote this problem, because usually I write the problems. But this time, a student did it, so I was not really well-versed with the facts, and so I love the objections. That's an invention. I couldn't tell if it was an invention or not since I didn't write it. But if it was, that was good. And again, sometimes you are allowed to connect some dots, even though it's not explicitly said in the book. But you can connect some dots as long as it's not a total invention, like somebody's motivation or whatever. But again, I don't know, since I'm not as intimate with the problem as the writer was. But you guys were so good with the objections, even if it was, overruled. Because that is all what it's all about, is being engaged in the process. And, nobody wants to see someone that's going to sit there. You're just going to let them say that? You're not going to say anything. You're not going to jump up and be outraged. How dare he say that? Like when at one point you all called her a criminal. And that's you should have said, objection, she is not a criminal, so don't let them get away with stuff like that. You be really listening to see what they're saying that's objectionable. But I love the back and forth between you guys. That was really good. That's good lawyering. That's what we see in here every day. That's good lawyering. You could be dead wrong, but I'm not going to let you get the last word on that. I'm going to go back and, defend your position. And so that is really, really good. And again, for people who are not well-versed in, techie stuff, that's one reason I couldn't write this problem. I don't know techie stuff. And it's a problem that is, very topical. And so that's another reason I'm like, you all can handle that, because I don't know this stuff. But like the anonymous and Guy Fawkes and all that kind of stuff, it's good to explain. And, what is an IP address? That's how you can fill up some of your time, is by connecting those kinds of dots for people who don't understand technology. So what is an IP address? So what is a login word? So what is that kind of stuff? So little concepts that are all throughout the problem, have somebody explain. It does not take a lot of time. Just a simple explanation to make the problem seem clearer, And, why do people who have emotional issues take piano lessons, that kind of stuff, just to make it a little clear, because a lot of it was a little murky, and so you want to make sure that your audience knows as much as you do about the problem, because they don't know anything. Just like in a real case, they don't know anything about this murder. Nothing about this murder. You got to put everything out there, say who everybody was, because the jury is following your map, and so make sure the map is clear. So, again, it was fantastic. And I love somebody said something about defame. So you're just going to let somebody defame? Who said that? And then I think it was Cannon. And he said, no, not defame necessarily, but I mean, it's good. I mean, these words are like hot words that are get thrown around, which you can always beat back. So no, I'm not defaming her. I'm just saying the truth or whatever, you know, because defaming is basically telling a lie on somebody's personality or reputation. So yeah, when you hear those buzzwords, you know, you should be listening for buzzwords and write them down and say, don't let them get away with that, you know. And if they don't let the witness clarify something, make sure that you let them clarify it on your redirect or something like that, okay? So any questions before you all's next round? So you all are now fortified with some more information. To your next opponents, next victims. All right, well, very good again.
Very good.
And good luck. See you all at 3 o'clock.
My name is Rick Maniloff. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association. And so on behalf of our nearly 6,000 members, we have a vibrant legal community, as you know, in this town. We want to thank you for your participation and congratulate you on all that you've done here as part of this mock trial event. You are now officially better trial lawyers than I am. There are many different kinds of lawyers. And I am a transactional lawyer. I'm a municipal bond lawyer. I do deals. If I am in court, that's a bad thing. And so I've never done a trial in my life, so you have all now done more than I have ever done in my entire 25-year career. So congratulations. Thank you for your participation on behalf of the entire legal community in this region. I appreciate it, and I'd like to turn the microphone over now to Drew Perebeck, who is the president of the Bar Foundation, which raises money to support this excellent event.
Thanks, everybody. Great to be here. It really is. I'm excited for all of you. I can tell there's a lot of excitement in this room. I'm president of the Bar Foundation. I work with Rick on a daily basis. I'm also an attorney in town, and I do go to court once in a while. The Bar Foundation raises money for the Bar Association's programs like this program. So that's our function. I wanted to tell you a little story about my first trial, and I will be brief. I want to see if it matches up with your experience today. My first trial, I was a brand new lawyer, and I worked hard and I prepared. Preparation, teamwork, all the stuff you've been going through. And I relied on my older attorneys and advisors. You've had teachers, attorneys, the judges here have taught you. I was ready to go. I got in my car, was going to go to bankruptcy court, and my car wouldn't start. So I took the family minivan. Now you all probably have brothers and sisters and know what a minivan is like. It's full of paper and toys and food, and remember that. So I get to court, I'm running down the hallway, I am sweating. I get to the podium to make my opening remarks, and the attorney behind me, my opposition, goes, "You have a waffle stuck to the back of your coat." What? No, there's a waffle stuck to the back of your coat. There's a waffle with one bite out of it from one of my kids stuck in the back. Luckily, the judge had kids. I don't even remember if I won or lost the trial, but the lesson I learned, and I think you all probably did way better than I did in your trials today. But if life throws you or a trial throws you a curveball, knocks you down, you get back up and you keep going. And I guess the other lesson is always have a clean car. But anyway, congratulations to all of you. Thank you for participating. We're very proud of you.
A lot of great talent in this room. I do see Judge Lewinsky. I'm going to ask him to come up and help us give out these awards. Judge Lewinsky. Okay. So what we are going to do now is just real quick, the teachers represent. Stand up, please. You can have some applause. You do. We appreciate you. And please, we want this to be big next year, too. So please identify people early so they can be in this competition. This is our 21st year. So next year, 22 years. Please, if you are not graduating, plan to participate next year. Okay, so we have best defense prosecution witness. All right. Tough category. Okay, Judge Lewinsky, you can present for the outstanding prosecuting attorney. Yes,
All right, this is for the overall outstanding prosecuting attorney, and it is La La Land here. I was going to save that for later, but.
Before we get to D, then we want to recognize everybody in that category. I'm sorry. Okay. Outstanding attorney. There's several of them. All of you can go now. Okay.
Desi Overton. Alyssa Sagos. Mariah Delmasi. Brian Jackson. Ishana Rash. Brian Jackson again. Janae Taylor. Bria Cook. Leslie Bush. Ayana Allen. Is Ayana here? Devin Rusnak. Christina Johnson. Javon Collins. Jessica Whitmer. Tyler Williams. Kaimari Williams. Diamond Dozier. William Eatman. Darrell Cannon. Gina Riddenauer. Lyric Thompson. Alexis Gutierrez. Cato. Mark Jacobson. Jasmine Mack. Michaela Malloy.
Yeah, Michaela!
Abdul Rahim Hamida. And Trevor James. I like this. We got the bow tie contingent coming up.
Third place outstanding writer is Carlos Capellas. Second place writing is Arian Mays. She's not here. And first place for outstanding writer. This is the first of our summer internships. So this person gets a summer internship. Damian Rodriguez. And the other internships go to the outstanding prosecuting attorney, and that is Brian Jackson. He gets a summer internship with our court. Outstanding defense attorney goes to Alyssa Sago. Internship. And outstanding witness, William Eatman. Now for the schools, the team winners. I'm sorry, we missed two outstanding attorneys. You didn't say anything. This one was in my group. Miracle. And Brooklyn Pryor and Jayla Barnes. Right, come on up. Have a La La Land moment. Okay. Steve Harvey. All right. The third place is New Tech West. Team 1. Second place is John Marshall. Team. Okay, and stay for photo, please. And the winner of the 2017 Cleveland Municipal Court Mock Trial Competition is John Hay, CSSM.